Okay, so today we are going to remove these side panels, and what I'd like to do is install this AdMore lighting kit. It's an auxiliary brake and turn signal light, and as well I'm going to add a shad top case to this. So we're going to work on getting this off and wiring this in first. And 6mm Allen key for this. As well, I'm gonna take these off. This should just pop out. Set that to the side. Looks like we've got a 6mm Allen key, no, 4mm. These have a little washer on it, so be careful not to lose that. Toolkit out. Earlier I went ahead and put in an LED light, so you can access the brake light right here. You can do that without removing this, but it's a little hard to get your hand in there. So I know that this is the brake wires that I need to tap into, but there's also the turn signal wires and the license plate wire that I need to get to. So I'm going to grab a knife and just kind of cut into these sheathings and see what the wires are. And I just want to be real careful just to cut into the sheathing just so I can see the wiring color code, and then I can tap in with some posi taps. So I'm just going to put a tiny little slit in the outside sheathing on each one of these. Careful not to cut any of the wires on the inside. But I just want to open that sheathing just a little bit. Now for this, I need this wire to get into here. So I went ahead and bought a little rubber grommet. I'm going to drill into one of these sides and feed this wire in through a rubber grommet so the sheathing isn't rubbing up against the plastic. So let's see where the best place to bring this in is. Take a look at this grommet and find an appropriate drill size. Bigger than that. Bigger than that. Okay, so I'm going to do 7/16 drill. It's going to allow me to put in this rubber grommet. I might have to widen the hole a little bit, but I just want to start a little smaller to see. And the wiring on this kit is going to be on this side, so I'm going to bring it in here. Got a little starter hole in there. And let's go ahead. Gonna have to go a little bigger. take a look over here. So what I've done is drilled in here a little bit wider for this grommet and put the grommet in so I have a path inside for that wire, but I don't want, you know, water to get up in there, and I also don't want the wire to be kind of chafing against just the rough plastic. So I think this grommet was maybe 50 cents. And you can see it comes in right in there. So let's go ahead and feed that wire through. There we go. It's a nice good fit. Just gonna hang that down. Okay, let's see if we can get a good angle on here. These are the three sheathings. This one is obviously for the tail light, but one of these is going to go to the license plate light, and then these other two will be the wiring to each of the turn signals. Now this kit has these wires. I believe, I have to look at the instructions, but I believe the red is to the tail light, black is ground. I believe the blue is for the oh gosh, maybe the brake light when it's on brighter, and then each of these two are for the one for each turn signal, and I'll look at the color coding for that. So let me go take a look at the instructions and we'll see what's going on. And they've included some posi-tap connectors, which I'm going to use to connect into here. So I'll go ahead and get those posi-taps put on, and then we will start attaching these wires. So for the ground wire, I'm going to tap into the ground on this. And just cut in here just a tiny bit. And open that up. The ground wire is the black with the yellow. The posi-taps that they give you with this are a little tiny for the application, but I think they'll work. Let's see. Yeah, it's a tight fit, but it looks like it'll be all right. So this is where we're going to tap in for our ground. And when I'm all done, I'm going to wrap this with some electrical tape. I've also got some liquid electrical tape that I may kind of just put around some of this. Now it looks like both the turn signals are green wires, at least coming from here. They may be a different color at the harness up there. So we'll just have to check which one's left or right. I'm guessing this one is the left hand side and this one is the right hand side. So, but both wires in each of these are green, and then they also have a ground wire. See if we can squeeze this on there. Screw it in good and snug. You don't want to go crazy and pinch the wire too much. Get some of that sheathing back around. So I believe that'll be the right hand turn signal. Alrighty. And that is the left hand. I'm going to tap into this license plate wire. This blue wire is the brake signal when it's activated. The red wire is the running light. So I'm going to tap into that blue wire. And I'm gonna tap into this red wire here. I believe this running light and this license plate wire eventually connect in on the same circuit as far as just the running lights. So I'm not going to tap into that red one here, just going to tap into this one. And I'm going to use this wire as a trigger for an auxiliary fuse box that I'm going to be putting in. So this will also be connected to the AdMore lighting, but then I'll have a wire coming off of this running as a trigger to a relay for a sub box or a sub fuse box that I'm going to use for some auxiliary lighting. I've got some Denali lights that I'm going to put on here and a couple other things. So I'll go over that in a different video, but this will also trigger that relay. Get all these nice and snug. Back this out a little bit. The black wire is the ground, so we'll go ahead and connect that up first. Push that down in there onto the connector, and then screw this down nice and tight. And nice and connected. I'll wrap that with some tape. So ground wire is connected. Red wire, we're going to go to this red wire for the license plate light, and that will also be illuminating the AdMore for the just the regular tail light, not the brake light. It's nice that they included the Positaps because they're quite expensive at the hardware store. But the only thing is some of the other hardware that came with this, like I didn't find that the bolts were probably going to be long enough for my application where I need to mount this, so I had to go to the hardware store and get a couple other things. So we're going to do this blue wire to blue wire. Push that down in. Make sure it's down, pushed in really good. Screw that in. It's connected. Now let's take a look at the instructions. The green wire is to the right-hand turn signal, and the yellow is to the left. Somebody needs to take their dog out. Go ahead and push that in there. And if these are for some reason incorrect, I'll test it, but we can just swap these wires since, like I said, the wire on both of these for the left and right seems to be green coming out of these sheathings, so I'm not entirely 100% sure until we test it out. So, got that one more wire. Okay, so that's all wired in. I'm gonna grab the key. We're gonna take a look and see if this light works. So, tail light is on. I've got an LED in here. This has the tail light on, and brake works. Let's try a turn signal. So this is going to be this way. Hazards work. Brake again. Oh, you know what? I need to put this trigger wire in, like I had mentioned before. So let's go ahead. And what I've got is this sub-fuse box that I will show where I'm installing it later. But it has a trigger wire, and I want that to tap into this wire here as a trigger voltage to set this relay off, and then that way the things on this sub-fuse box are keyed, so when the ignition is on, this comes on. Let me go ahead and tap that in there real quick. Okay, set this off to the side. This is what I'm going to use for the trigger wire. Back this out. Oops, not that part. I went ahead and bought some liquid tape. I'm going to put some in the tops of these and then put some electrical tape on the outside. So never really used this stuff. Smells like glue. The little applicator that they give with this sucks. Squeeze some in there. Okay, so let's see, is that all the wires here? Okay, I'm gonna give that about 15 minutes to dry up, and then I'm gonna tape all these wires down a bit more so it's not such a mess in here, and then neatly pack them away down in here. Just just kind of wrap them up, put the tail light back in, and then we will move on from there. Okay, it looks like this stuff is dried, this kind of liquid electrical tape, or it's mostly dried. I'm going to go ahead and tape up the rest of it and kind of clean up these wires here, and we'll finish that up. Those are probably going to be a pain to get to, so I think I'm going to take that off. That's just the seat lock here. Just give me a little bit more room to work with. Okay, I'm going to finish taping these up, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, we've got it all taped up. Perhaps not the best job, but looks like it'll work. I'm going to feed these wires down. It looks like there's a little wire clamp holder there. Put those in there. These back down to the side. Put the tail light back in. Okay, that is in and locked. Let's go ahead and put this back on. I'm gonna grab some zip ties and zip tie some stuff up. Okay, I think that all looks good. Okay, so I still need to go ahead and, this is just loose fitted on here. I want to go ahead and line it up, and then I will fish that through the grommet and zip tie that all in. But just want to make sure everything's working with it correctly. So that's the brake light from the pedal, brake light from the lever, turn signal, and hazards. I'm gonna put the case on it, just see what it looks like with the case on. So it's going to be fitted up a little bit tighter here. Pretty good. Okay, so with the case fitted, I think that's a good look right there. Oops, let's get this camera up here. So in the video, it probably looks like it's flickering more than it is. It's steady on right now with just the normal tail light. Yeah, it doesn't look so bad.